imagine there's something you would really like to start doing, knowing that that new thing would be very beneficial to you. Maybe you would like to lose weight or exercise more. Maybe you would like to declutter your home or change job or change many more things about your life. And instead of doing it, instead of even starting it, you just play a moment with the idea of, wouldn't it be nice? And then you grab some chips, chocolate or cake, you drop on your sofa and do same old, same old. How come we often stand in our own way, doing the opposite of what we would rather do, knowing that that other thing over there would help us to feel better? Some explain it away with perfectionism, not starting something new because they are afraid of failing and not doing it right, or not doing it good enough, or not being good enough. And so before they even can make any mistake along the way, they just prefer to stay put and change nothing, do nothing. At least they are not doing anything wrong, right? And some fall into the trap of criticizing themselves right from the get-go, finding every detail that they are lacking, that is less than 100%, and talk themselves out of anything different from the familiar. They are devaluing themselves to the point they feel so weak and bad about themselves, convinced that there's no point in improving it anyway, and maybe even they are not deserving of any change. Some please others to the point of forgetting that they do exist as well. Their needs want to be fulfilled as well. Their boundaries need to be respected as well. And so they do stay in relationships, friend circles, work environments that are toxic and not satisfying in any way, because it's familiar. They shrink and learn to ignore their own value and worth. And some feel like control freaks. They even say it about themselves. Having control and being in control is the most important thing for them. Control over everything around them. Control over others and their own experiences. That is what seemingly gives them a feeling of security and safety, a place to be and stay. We are manipulating ourselves into doom and gloom instead of encouraging ourselves and saying yes to ourselves. Where's that coming from? Like a lot of things that shape our behavior, our responses, our way of thinking and feeling, come from our childhood. And so do all the examples I have mentioned before. As a baby, you didn't have the slightest clue about the world. The only things you needed as a baby was safety, security, care, and love. In the first years of our lives, we learn and absorb everything that is presented to us. And so we also learn that certain behaviors give us certain results or consequences. We learn how something we express and do gives us either something we want and need or not. And then we did more of those things that were giving us a sense of safety and love at that time. That doesn't mean the things we did were necessarily healthy behaviors. We were depending on our surroundings, our parents or caregivers mostly, and we adjusted our behavior towards their expectations, their views of the world, in order to stay safe and to make it through life, alive. And now we are grown-ups, and those ways of thinking, feeling, and behavior have shaped us. We often do the same things that we have learned early on, yet now they feel more like a burden, like an obstacle, and we still can't help ourselves. Those things became automatic responses. So how can we change something that is not useful any longer? How can we transform the way we respond? Because today we do not have to think, feel, and behave like a baby anymore. You can get help, for example, from a professional, a therapist, a counselor, a hypnotist. Ta-da! And or you can go on your own journey of self-discovery yourself. Maybe you have learned to be perfect in order to receive love and attention, praise and rewards. Maybe you have learned to devalue yourself because you have been devalued in order to get you fired up and motivated to be and do better. So in the end, then you might be loved. There are probably lots of answers to those questions. Yet the interesting question now becomes the question of how to bring more love into your life today. And you might want to yawn when I say it, but it is step one of building our foundation. The big word is self-love. Not as in being blinded by your awesomeness every time you pass a mirror or a window. I mean a deep respect for yourself, acceptance and compassion for yourself, including everything you don't like about yourself. And I know that this isn't something you just take and have it, especially not when you have beaten yourself up to the point where you are down on the ground, being in pain, and only feel a sense of lack. At the same time, this is the best start to learn it, the best position to begin to feel compassion for yourself. Feel what it is you actually lack, what it is that you actually crave and want. The beginning is the awareness that you think and feel yourself into unhealthy behaviors because you want to feel safe and loved. And when you become aware of it, give yourself the compassion, the kindness, the gentle acknowledgement that this is okay and understandable from the position you are in. And don't mix self-compassion with self-pity. It's not the same thing. Self-pity comes from a place of victimhood and helplessness. It doesn't feel great. Nobody really wants to be a victim. It's the poor me thinking that doesn't move you anywhere in the long run. But hey, if you have times you throw a decent pity party for yourself, know this is okay as well. Be aware that this is what you do, and then you might have a laugh about yourself when you discover it. And then you still treat yourself with compassion. Studies have shown that self-compassion gets you the results you want much more often than not. It has nothing to do with becoming lazy and excuse any of the things you do. It's about being gentle with yourself when you are not at your best. I will throw a link to a study into the description box below that show how, for example, weight loss got more easy and successful when participants treated themselves with compassion and mindfulness along the way. Self-compassion, self-love is creating harmony and peace within yourself and still allows us moving forward, improving and achieving our goals. Imagine how powerful this can become for you, and imagine how self-compassion can change so many areas of your life. You rewire your brain as it always learns. You leave the old paths behind you and create new ones, literally almost, in your brain. because neurons that fire together, wire together, and build new neural pathways for you till your new you becomes automatic. Isn't that worth a go? Let me know in the comments in what areas of your life you could develop more self-compassion and what that would change for you. And then go for it. But before you start running off, consider to subscribe if you like my videos. Share them with people who could benefit as well. Be well and have a lovely day. Bye for now.